Creating the perfect LOR for your masters abroad. Imagine a document that is not just governed by your inputs, your ability to show yourself, but rather by someone bigger than you. Imagine a case wherein you tell your teacher, "Ma'am, I want to take a holiday today," and they say no to it. But what if your parents come and they say the same thing to your teacher that, "Ma'am, he or she needs a holiday today"? Would they still say no to it? That is the power of an LOR. Hey guys, so today we are going to be discussing about an LOR. Similar to what I just mentioned before, LOR is basically everything that you have written in your essays, your SOPs. It's basically more than your grades and your profile. Everything that, but coming from someone even more credible than you. That is maybe your professor, your manager, someone of a bigger authority. And that's why it is one of the most important documents. Today we are going to be discussing what is an LOR, how to create the perfect LOR, the different sections of LORs, and lastly, few mistakes to avoid when taking an LOR. So first, let's talk about what is an LOR. But before that, why should you even listen to me? Hi guys, this is Kevin. I am the founder of AlConnect. Over the experience of the past 3 years, I have helped students get into colleges like HEC, LSC, LBS, UIUC, Cornell, and the number of students that I have talked to till now, not just helped, but in general talked to, is way above 9,000. So I have heard a lot of stories, have heard a lot of issues students face when it comes to LORs. So I promise you to be completely honest in terms of my suggestions and something that actually helps. So let's get down to what is an LOR. LOR is basically a formal document written by maybe a professor, a manager, founder, if you have the best cases, or any authoritative figure that you have closely worked with, which talks about your skills, your achievements, something exceptional you did in your relationship with them. Why is it so important? As I mentioned before, it's coming from authoritative figure because everybody can write good stuff about themselves, right? If I were to write an SOP right now, I'm going to be writing some very good things about myself. And nobody's stopping me to, right? But that said, a lot of people amplify also. So to make everything you've mentioned in your SOP, your resume more credible, you need to have an LOR that really complements your essays and SOPs. And that's why it is one of the most important documents. Coming down to first of all, who you should get an LOR from. So one very common mistake people do when they are taking LORs is they just look at the position of the person, how well known they are, right? Or if it's a founder, let me get an LOR from them. Let me just ask them if they can write me an LOR. But the concern is, how close are you to them? Can they really write a very personalized LOR? Can they really talk about something that's more than just praises? Do they have an experience that you guys have shared? If the answer is no, then it would be better to maybe take an LOR just from a manager who you have closely worked with and can vouch and even take in considerations the things that you will tell them that should be there in the LOR. So it's more about the relationship than just the position. But of course, if the relationship is also good and the position of the person you're taking it from is also good, then it's kind of getting the best of both worlds here. So we have finalized a referee. We are now gonna be talking about the content of the LOR, which is the most important thing. In my opinion, there is no set rule to this. There are 3 sections of an LOR, one of which is optional, we can say. First one is the introduction. Surely be there, like why exactly the person who's gonna give you an LOR is in a position to give you an LOR. Second, the real content, the juice of it. And then the last one would be maybe recommending to the particular college, program, or anything. Talking about the first section, introduction. So this is a place wherein they will really set the tone of who they are recommending, why they are in a good position to recommend you, what their position is, the time you guys have spent together. So just introducing the relationship between you guys. Second section, which is I would say the main section over here, the body. This is where most of the mistakes happen. I feel that, I've seen LORs wherein the professor has literally just written 1 paragraph about the student and the whole LOR got finished in 2 paragraphs. And these are some of the cases where students have submitted and then shared these with me. And I was like, man, why would you do that? So you need to really focus more on getting as much as you can from your referees. And in most of the cases, it's been some time that you have been in touch with them. Let's say you are someone who has graduated 3 years before and now you're reaching out to your professor to get an LOR. They might not remember the details. You need to give them an outline, give them the information that, sir or ma'am, that we really did this. We did this together. This was the output of it, right? So you need to really focus on few things that you remember, share with them, or if they already remember, it's great. But it's not just about mentioning those things. It's not just about saying that Kevin has been an exceptional student in the class, he has been a great leader. They need to prove it with an experience. This is where most of the mistakes happen. The referee just go on and they just talk about everything the student has done. Most of it could have been true, but how do you prove it? So here the most important approach that we even follow in our essays is show, not tell. Show how they have been a leader. Like talk about an instance where something really happened. Maybe the teacher was not there or the manager was not there, and how they stood up and they treated everyone equally, or some traits of leadership. Just an example, it could be anything. It can be some, if it's academic or maybe a particular topic they're really, really good at. So that's what you need to really focus on. Show, not just tell. Give examples, give situations, give conversations. That's what a good body of an LOR should have. One optional content is there in the body itself, we can say, is a weakness of yours. You can really talk about because it makes you feel human. It also, shows that they are not just praising about you. So again, it even makes that LOR even more credible. So again, very, very important thing you need to focus more on is if somebody is talking about a weakness. For example, let's say I am applying to a marketing program and I did BBA in my undergrad. So the professor cannot really come and say that the subject that you were not so good at was marketing, or maybe something related to marketing, maybe talking to people. So it should not really contradict what you're targeting. It should be something else, I would say. And also, of course, if there is something else, maybe, a very common thing that a lot of people mention and talk about is how the student was not able to manage a lot of things together initially. Then you gave them some advice, a constructive feedback, they took in that feedback, and now they are doing pretty well with it. So again, always show that a student has cured that particular, problem they had, or they have improved on that. Don't leave it like it is still a weakness, right? This might not be a very strong thing to portray. So that's more about the weakness of the LOR. The last section where they just give a summary of who you are, how the relationship has been, and how happy they would be to recommend you to that particular program. Cherry in the top for this would be them taking the name of the college, which is not so easy because they might have to reply back to, like, if it's a personalized email, in a lot of cases, colleges will be sending them emails, so they might have to upload the LOR, which is fine. But if, you have to upload the LOR yourself on a letterhead, it would be even better if you get different documents about particular colleges. Let's say, for example, you're targeting Chicken Ross, you're targeting London Business School, you're targeting Carnegie Mellon, these 3 colleges. And, your referee can give you 3 versions of the LORs. Everything should be same. At the end, you can just talk about how they are very happy to recommend you to London Business School, how they're happy to recommend you to Michigan Ross, right? So take different names. This will make them feel it's very personal, because in a lot of cases, students submit the same LOR generalizing that, I would be extremely happy to recommend this student to your program, right? So your program is a bit generic, but again, I understand a lot of colleges can create a lot of confusion. They have to upload it. They are not so, a lot of teachers are not so comfortable going to the portal and uploading and going through the link. So yeah, I think that's that. I mean, at the end, it should be a small summary. Talking about a couple of things. So few things you have to see. In a lot of cases, colleges are going to ask you the official email IDs of your referees. So be ready with that. Don't get surprised at the end that, my college does not have a professional email ID, right? So, I mean, in some cases, colleges are considerate. In some cases, they are not. They are very strict. So, choose someone who has a professional email ID if it's a work environment. In most of the cases, they have, but if it's not, then you need to reach out to the college, right? Professional email ID means @alconnect.in, right? @google.com, something, right? Generic ones are @gmail.com are not accepted, @yahoo.com, Hotmail, all these are not accepted. So now talking about the mistakes. One very common mistake I see that the LORs are not so quantitative in a lot of cases, because then again, you don't have the personal connection with the referee. If you have chosen somebody you are not so well connected with, you won't be comfortable mentioning numbers over there, right? So that's where choosing someone who you're closely connected with becomes even more important. Apart from that, second thing that I really feel is, again, show and tell approach is not followed in most of the cases, right? That's a very, very common mistake which can harm you a lot, or maybe if you do it right, can increase your chances a bit. Third thing, right? In a lot of cases, when students are reaching out to someone, they have not been connected for the past some time, but maybe they were in a connection with them a few years before. They don't really share the personal details. Like, you need to share your resume to the professors or the managers, to share the program you're targeting, the links of this program, so they can really go through it and personalize those more. And that's it. That's how you create the perfect LOR. If you have any further questions on LORs, SOPs, essays, you can always reach out to us. There is a link in the description that you can directly book a call with us if you want any help with the applications. Also, do like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you feel this is something that's informative for you. We are gonna be bringing lots and lots of valuable videos for you that will help you in your whole study abroad journey. If you have any further questions, please drop them in the comments. I'll make sure that I'm personally addressing them. Have a great day.